Yeah, welcome, boys and girls, to the Goosebumps TV show podcast.
Not the book podcast.
Not the book podcast. Today or tonight, we'll be discussing.
Depending when you watch it.
We'll be discussing The Phantom of the Auditorium and Piano Lessons Can Be Murder. Get it? Because murder.
There is no murder in this episode.
Look, there has to be a pun.
It isn't a pun, though. It's a play on words.
There has to be a play on words. Or otherwise, why even bother making the book? I feel like, again, I said this before, I think, half of the, well, I mean, that's a good reason, but half of the reason why these books were made is just so that someone could put, like, a really snappy tagline in the front of it. It's like it's like a dream for whoever it is, whoever's job it is to design the tagline for movies. He's back, and this time, it's personal. He's a real monster. Or whatever that one was. It's a finger-licking nightmare.
It's a finger-licking nightmare. It sounds like a Halloween special for...
Play it again, hands. Get it? Because play it again, hands.
Yeah.
It's a play on play it again, Sam, which is a misquotation from Casablanca.
What about work your hands off?
No. That doesn't make any sense. That's not a thing. We'll get to the piano lessons thing later. We have to do the...
What about...
We're doing this in order, guys!
I lost my hands to leprosy.
I was going to say I left my hands in San Francisco, but that again, the actual thing has nothing to do with hands. Like, Sam kind of rhymes with hands.
What happened to his hands?
Alright, but The Phantom of the Auditorium. Let me see if I can look up the tagline for it, because I have the page right here. Why don't you start describing the plot, as you best remember it from having just watched it.
Okay, so first starts a very scary dream that foreshadows the
lightning in the background.
Plot of the
Just describe what happens in the dream. Go on.
Joining me in the darkness, says the Phantom, as a book appears. Oh no, a book!
Ooh, close-ups of the book, like getting closer and further away. Have like a Dolly Carr book.
As Esmeralda awakens and screams into the night.
Her name is not Esmeralda. The character she's playing is named Esmeralda, which, by the way, I haven't read The Phantom of the Opera, but I'm pretty sure Esmeralda is from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Couldn't r.l.stine have, like, picked up The Phantom of the Opera and, like, read through it and been like, okay, this is the female, like, just to complete the illusion?
I'm looking up the Phantom of the Opera cast.
Alright, well, I found the tagline, and I want you to make a guess as to what the tagline is. Because sometimes they're not puns, sometimes they're just really lame statements. When you're looking up the Phantom of the Opera cast, you're looking up the cast of the Phantom of the Opera movie. You realize that, right?
Yeah, but there's the same characters, right?
Well, maybe not. I mean, okay, but anyway, so guess what the tagline is. Christine. Christine is the name of the main character in the Phantom of the Opera. Obviously, you probably want to look up the book more so than the
It was a play.
Well, yeah. It was a book as well. I read like a children's version of the Phantom of the Opera book when I was younger.
Characters.
Pretty sure it's Christine in there.
Yes.
Yeah, Christine. But her last name is Day.
So.
Yeah. So guess the tagline.
The tagline. Join me in the darkness.
He's out to stop the show for good.
Oh. The it's worse.
Okay, I like this game. Well, if you're not going to describe the episode, then I will.
No, I'm going to describe
Okay,
the
go ahead,
episode.
do the whole thing, but
So
you have to be a little bit faster than you were doing before.
Then comes the cast of the play Phantom of the Opera. We see our main character.
You already forgot her name, didn't you?
What's her name?
What? Just continue. I'm sure you'll come to you.
Okay. And her best friend Zeke.
See, his name you remember.
That's because it's Zeke. I mean, how could I forget that?
Her name is Brooke.
Oh, that's it, Brooke. I remember it now.
Right.
I know what the name is.
Right. Of course.
Okay, so it turns out Zeke's sort of a prankster. He does all the funny jokes.
There always has to be that character. Either the protagonist of the Goosebumps book is the prankster, or they have a wacky friend who likes to play jokes on the other friend.
Or a bratty little sister
Right,
who really sucks.
Who likes to play jokes. Again, I feel like he feeds into her sadism. I think that... What's his name? What was his name? It wasn't Larry. It was... What was his name?
Gester.
No, stop. I can't remember now.
Michael?
Yeah, look at... Okay, you continue with the plot. I'll find his name.
So, then, they realize that there's a trap door on the stage, and they think, well, this is really old. It hasn't been operated recently,
Yeah,
so we have to get it fixed before we can use it. And
It is Michael. That's weird.
yes, okay. So then it's nighttime, apparently.
All right.
I don't know how that transition was made, but then they go into the trap door, and it's all dark and dusty. And Brooke loses her glasses. She can't see with her glasses off. And I think they just go back up. They don't go any further.
Yeah, they just find out this place exists. Honestly, the pacing in this particular book is all over the place because I feel like this is a fundamental problem that we're probably going to run into multiple times. But basically, R.l.stine comes up with a conceit. Because I feel like the conceit isn't worthy of a whole book. The conceit is worthy of like a short story in a collection of short stories about kids dealing with monsters and stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like this story could have benefited from being a lot shorter. Because the idea of being like locked in an auditorium or being like trapped beneath the stage in like some weird area.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a creepy idea, and I think like the looks are always going to be ridiculous, but it could have kind of worked if it was just that. But you know, because the story is stretched out over the course of 3 days, it's like, well, I can't be frightened for 3 days. That's not the way it works. It's just like it fluctuates too much between the characters being, you know, frightened by these intense things happening, and then them just like walking through the daylit halls of the school.
So once they get out of the trap door, they just find Emil, the night janitor.
A meal laid all out for them. You know, turkey, some ham, little fettuccine.
Yes, that kind of meal.
Yeah, no, there's a night janitor named Emil.
But you always have to remember, stay away.
Stay away. He says that like 5 times.
Stay away.
Stay away.
In this scene alone.
Yeah. So, if you didn't know how this works, we're gonna spoil the story. So this guy, he's a homeless man living underneath the stage of the Phantom Auditorium. The auditorium. They find this out at the end of the story, and you know, I guess the climax, or fake climax or whatever. But like, isn't he wearing a janitor's suit? Like, where did he get that? How does it fit him?
He stole it from the janitor office.
The janitor office?
Yeah, the office, the place where all the janitors go.
The janitorial office.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Or the closet, as I like to call it.
Okay. So Zeke keeps playing practical jokes on people. For some reason, how did he get inside of Brooke's room on like at night? At like 8 p.m. at night when it's raining outside.
Invited in.
But she didn't notice he was there?
Yeah, I mean, she has garbage peripheral vision.
Okay. Like, she's in the room and she's practicing her lines, and then he pops up behind her dressed as the Phantom, and she screams. Because that's the way Goosebumps books are structured. But then he's like, haha, I was just me. Do you like my costume? Right?
Yeah.
And honestly, at this point, Zeke can go take a hike. I would not, if Zeke had been captured by Emil, the crazy homeless man living beneath the stage, I don't think it would be that big of a loss. If Zeke had been killed by the Phantom, who was like, you shall not play the part that I did, I would not, that wouldn't be that big of a deal for me either. If Zeke had accidentally...
I think it was really relatable.
If Zeke had tripped and fallen into a wood chipper, and it was nobody's fault, I maybe would be fine with that as well. What a terrible person.
I mean, he's not the worst character.
Okay, he's not like Tara, but like first off, like to mess with her when she can't see, when he was the one who wanted her to go down in the dark tunnel with him that they don't even know they can get back out of yet. And then to sneak into somebody else's room when you're inside their house just to mess with them?
Yes.
So then there's a scene where they're practicing their lines, right? Or they're at their theater, they're doing the stage thing or whatever.
Yes.
Or, well, we skipped over. Okay, so she opens up her locker and
here
it's like,
comes the
go away, Esmeralda, or like, stay away, Esmeralda,
Yeah.
stay away. And there's a skull mask, and for some reason at first she thinks the skull mask is not a skull mask, even though it clearly is a mask.
That's in the shape of a skull.
Yeah, that's in the shape of a skull. Kind of like Phantom's.
Was that on purpose?
I mean, probably.
You really think
but
the
then
Phantom
she's like-
mask was to look like a skull?
She's like, screw off, Zeke.
But
I'm tired of you unlocking my locker, because I guess he knows the combination to her locker.
yeah,
Then placing a mask inside of it and a message.
then
piercing
yeah,
it.
writing a poetic, threatening message in a different font from your own.
Which, just the fact that people assume this is Zeke, you could be like, oh, well, Zeke gets a bad rap. But also, maybe Zeke is just an asshole, and these people have good reason to assume he would do these types of things. Like
I mean,
sneaking into someone's room, that's one kind of invading their privacy. Unlocking their locker, that's another. And I know he didn't do that, but the fact that she thought he was capable of that is indicative of their friendship.
I wouldn't have assumed it was him because I didn't think he would go that far.
Well, I mean, neither did I. I didn't think Zeke would go that far, but apparently he did.
No, he didn't. That's the whole point that he didn't.
Okay, so wait. So Emil.
The entire story is about how he didn't do it.
Okay, so Emil, the crazy homeless janitor man,
Yeah.
during the night, I guess.
Yep.
Snuck out of his base, right? Because there's no one in the school, so it's fine. He found the locker. Her locker, and then he somehow devised a way to open it.
Yeah.
And then I guess he had a skull mask lying around because he's living in the tunnels underneath the stage.
No, that was the real Phantom's part.
The real Phantom opened her locker and put a skull mask in there and a message.
Yes, using ghost
Somehow I find that even less likely.
No, because he used ghost powers.
No, because the stay away thing, that was from Emil. Because he was the one who dropped the door.
But we don't know that. He left right after it happened.
But you could
That
see that
doesn't
he was a
mean
man. You could see he was a man when he grabbed her.
Yeah.
You could see he was like a man-sized person.
Yeah, he was
So that was Emil.
Yeah.
So the
But
stay
then
away
he
thing.
ran away and the door fell. So we're not. So that could have been from the real Phantom.
I feel like this music is really not, it's too intense for what we're discussing. No, I don't understand. No, I do not. So Emil did the thing. So there's a part where they're on the stage and they're practicing, and then the lights turn out, and then a guy swings down like Despero style from the top, you know, and then he grabs her and he's like, "You will stay away, Despero, stay away." And then like for some reason, nobody noticed a big plywood door was hanging conspicuously above that spot, and so it drops and hits the. And honestly, I feel like the teacher, I feel like she's to blame as well. It's a little negligent the way she's been treating these kids.
Yeah, she just shifted the blame right over to Zeke,
Yeah.
who had an alibi.
She's the adult in this situation, and she didn't notice a door falling. There was a door tie up on the thing above.
with red font on it.
Yeah. How? Maybe she's the Phantom. So that was Emil.
Yeah.
But so he wrote "stay away" on the door thing, right? Because he said "stay away" to her earlier, right?
No, on the door it said "last chance something die."
Yeah, but it said "stay away" on it, just like it said "stay away" on the
Stay
note.
away is 2 words.
Jacob.
It's very simple, just words. Actually, no.
I'm pretty sure he committed both of these acts.
Right. Okay, I remembered because the real Phantom didn't want them to stay away.
Yeah, he wanted the play to go on so that he could play the role of the Phantom and bring her down into the darkness eternal.
So the door was from Emil. And
I think this is the fundamental problem with this episode, by the way.
Yeah.
Is not only is it slightly confusing, but the Phantom, the ghost, right? He turns out to be the character that they knew all along. It's a classic Goosebumps twist, except it means that there wasn't a ghost for the whole story. And because there wasn't a ghost for the whole story, there's no legitimate climax. Like it's like, oh, I will take you away, and then she's like, no, you won't, and then he's like, no. That's like almost exactly what goes down on the stage because they spent all this time with them thinking the crazy homeless guy was the Phantom.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah.
Why would the ghost of a boy who died 72 years ago look like a man? I mean, not that ghosts ever made any sense in the first place.
No.
I'm just saying, there's no resolution. It's not like they defeat the ghost by, casting a spell, by speaking the words on the wooden dummy backwards, and it makes it go away in exile to the limbo or wherever, or get peace or whatever.
It's not the same as the boy.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the whole story, the whole book is leading up to the confrontation with Emil, and because of that, there's no development as to how they defeat the Phantom, and so the way she defeats the Phantom is just by refusing him and pushing him backwards. When he's a ghost! If he was a legitimate threat, then that wouldn't work, but because they didn't have time to establish something previous that she could do to defeat the ghost, that's the way the story ends.
It was... Yeah, there was no... Yeah...
And I guess there was also the creepy, the principal. He was meant to be.
Did the principal appear?
What do you? Yeah. When she opens the locker, the principal's like, "What are you doing there?" or whatever. Like, shouldn't you be in drama class?
I mean, that doesn't seem like something that would be done on purpose.
No, I thought they were trying to set him up as a possible person who's responsible for things.
He had 30 seconds on screen.
Yeah, I know. Well, I didn't think it was him. I did think that the first time I watched this, but I did think he was creepy. And I guess he's not as creepy in his second appearance, where he's like, hey, called the police. He's very irresponsible. You 3 children did. Oh, by the way, so after Zeke gets kicked out of the play, they decide, oh, there's no night janitor? Well, then there's a man underneath the theater. We're 3 12-year-olds. Let's go investigate. And figure this whole thing out for ourselves. And that goes about as well as can be expected. What was I going to say? Yeah, that goes about as well as expected because they didn't bring any weapons and they had a plan. So they just go down into the tunnels and they find a house, and then the guy's like, "No, you are not supposed to come down here." And then they're like, "Goodbye," and then they run past him. Not away from him, not around him. They don't trip him. They don't stop him.
Yeah.
They just run past him.
And he does nothing.
Yeah, he doesn't grab any of them. He chooses to wait to run after them and try and grabbing them. And then they escape, of course.
He probably doesn't have a very fast reaction time.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what kind of drugs or like moonshine he's making down there. But the point is,
he doesn't have the important nutrients he needs to.
That's right. Wouldn't he need like the sunlight not to die of like a deficiency of some kind?
I mean, he maybe I don't know. I suppose it depends how long.
He eats vitamin C rich foods. Uses lots of supplements.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like albino people deal with that, so it's not like
but he never takes his antioxidants.
Right. But they escape from him, of course, and then like he grabs her and then she stamps him on the foot, which just goes to show you how ineffectual all of the villains in this story are. And then they escape, and then the police are like, "Oh, we don't know where he went," which is really creepy. Like, I feel like if you're running a school and there's like, okay, so there was the homeless man living inside the school. What? And we didn't catch him. So he might come back or be hanging around nearby.
What?
So don't worry, we're on the case. I feel like that's a little bit of a cause for distress. I feel like the parents would have jumped on their throat for that kind of thing.
But that's obviously not what the story was about, so it clearly wasn't going
right,
to
because
happen.
they have to get the ghost in there. So the last like 2 minutes of the story wrap up the whole ghost plot with Brian Hanscom. No, that's
Colas.
Brian Coulson.
Coulson.
Yeah. See, Hanscom, I was thinking of it. I was thinking of a character from it. But yeah, so they get him and it goes about the way you would expect, and his eyes turn into fire in another brilliant moment of special effects wizardry. Look, I'm just saying, if you can't afford to make something look good, don't put it in. Just remove it. Just
or try doing it a different way.
Yeah, or try doing it in a different way. Like, why not have more dialogue or something just to fill the airtime instead of showing that thing that you wanted to show? Because nobody could have, like, I don't think in the 1990s they were like, oh my god, that is incredible. Because it doesn't look real. It never looked real.
I mean, they were just so hyped at the time. They thought, oh my god, this is really easy. This is the easiest thing I could ever do.
Yeah, this is the future of all media. So then the Phantom beckons her, and I guess there's this whole like they were hinting at some kind of like romantic subplot between her and Brian Coulson, the new kid who turns out to be the ghost. Weren't they? Because the other girl shows up. What's her face? Tina. Because Tina shows up and she's like pushing her out of the way because he's like, oh, you're so cool and interesting. And the ghost, who is 72 years old, is like, yeah. And then
he died 72 years ago, so he would be like 84.
Oh, that's a fair point. So if he was 12 when he died, yeah, he'd be 84. So the 84-year-old ghost, who I guess he does have the body of a 12-year-old,
which makes it a bit more creepy.
Does that make it more creepy or less creepy? If he had died when he was 84, would that interaction look more creepy or less creepy to you?
I mean, just
more creepy. I mean, it would obviously be more.
Okay.
Anyway,
so
So that's the story. That's what happens.
So what if-
It's
what
really
if-
kind of stupid?
What if in the
I
end?
mean, actually, I think I like this episode more than I like most episodes. But it was kind of a mess.
What if in the end, instead of being instead of being Brian Coulson as a real Phantom, and Emil came back and just lunged at her because for revenge? What if that happened instead?
In the book.
I mean, just what if it happened?
Well, look, if r.l.stine can't publish a book where there's no supernatural element, like sci-fi element, it doesn't work. You get me? Like, r.l.stine can't publish a book which is actually just about a bunch of teenagers dealing with a crazy homeless man who lives underneath the stage, and then the crazy homeless man assaults one of them.
But that's
not a fun story for kids.
Now that would be really scary.
But yeah, but in a totally different way than the Goosebumps stories which this would be. I feel like the music is a little loud. I feel like it's a little loud.
Turning down the music.
Turn it down. Turn it up, don't turn it up. Turn it up, don't turn it up.
Okay.
Don't even fucking touch it.
Alright, you don't want me to touch it?
Okay,
so
I
was going to turn it
so
in front of them.
So that's it. That's the Phantom of the Auditorium. Again, I feel like I kind of liked it because it was like there are moments where it's legitimate, like the setting is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
But the dream parts are really weird. Like they keep cutting back to the dream in the first scene, but then they don't like really refer back to the dream in earlier scenes. And I'm just confused about the dream in general. Like the ghost visited her before it met her as Brian Coulson.
Because he knew that would be her role. And so...
Also, how much sicker would Agent Coulson be if it turned out he was the ghost of a 72-year-old boy? 84-year-old boy. It would explain him coming back from the death!
No,
Alright.
No, he didn't actually die. He was revived off screen.
The point remains. So just a little trivia here for all you folks at home wondering about the Phantom of the Auditorium. You know, what can we learn? This is one of the few books in the original series that did not receive a reprint in the 2003 to 2007 reprint series.
Wow.
So I guess out of all, and really like I don't know how many books did not make the cut, but I feel like I haven't read this book, but I imagine it can't be that bad. Like when you got Egg Monsters from Mars.
Egg Monsters from Mars.
Like that's a book. Like
Humans from the Moon.
Deep Trouble, which is just about mermaids. Like I guess that one got a bunch of sequels though, but like still, it's like none of it is like
The Return of a Mummy. It hadn't actually come back.
Yeah, like you get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
like surely this how could this be one of the worst? It's not one of the worst episodes. That's for sure. Like this is not worse than Cuckoo Clock of Doom.
Maybe it just didn't make that much of an impact.
This is not worse than My Hairiest Adventure.
We haven't even talked about that yet. Oh my.
Yeah, but I'm sure that My Hairiest Adventure made the reprint.
Because people liked it.
Yeah, I guess it's more popular is the reason. But I'm just saying, this is a much cooler idea than any of those.
Yeah.
It's just unique is all. Alright, so
And savory.
yeah, there's really nothing else in this trivia section. The title of this book supposed the title Phantom of the Opera. At one point, the movie The Friday the 13th is mentioned in the book. And the fact that the boyfriend in the play's name is Eric could be considered a pun due to the fact that the Phantom's name in the Phantom of the Opera is Eric with a K, in the second instance, in the C in the first instance. So that's not really trivia. That's like, but let's give our rating. So as far as Phantom, child acting, maybe one of the worst. Is that worse?
You like?
I liked it because of how bad it was. So, like, Zeke was going, like, because this place is cursed. Like, his voice was going weird.
Zeke, there was a girl.
Oh, no, you're right. But then Zeke was also doing, like some weird
accents.
Yeah, it was like that guy.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, but yes, but it was also like the Ernest K movie about the witches in the small New England town, and that what's his face, Christopher Lloyd, and the one like Jock. They're like, what hemisphere are you from?
Talking about Hocus Pocus.
No, that's not it. Anyway, the child acting was god awful. But are we rating it on a bad is good scale? Like it was so bad it was good?
Have we done that?
I don't remember. Because I think at one point we were like, oh yes, this is good because of how terrible it is. For one of them at least. Anyway, I'm giving it a 1.5. No, you know what? I'm giving it a 2 because it's not the worst I've seen, but it's pretty. Yeah, I'll give it a 2.5. All right, you turned me over. So funniness. How funny was this episode? I feel like it wasn't very funny.
It had its moments.
Right, like at one point somebody yelled something that was like absurd. Or no, that was Piano Lessons for Murder. This one wasn't as funny as Piano Lessons for Murder. What do you think?
Okay,
Yeah.
2.
2 out of 5. Yeah. All right, scariness.
It's one of the higher ones, right? Right?
Probably. I mean, that moment where his eyes turned into cartoon, like photorealistic versions of flame. That was pretty scary.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Okay, so let's move on to piano lessons can be murder. Play it again, hands. So the cover for Piano Lessons Can Be Murder is just 2 hands suspended on a red background and playing piano.
Yeah.
And when I look at this, the only thing I can think of is a scene from Addams Family Reunion. Is it Reunion? Addams Family Values, I think, where the hand, the single hand that they have.
Yeah.
It like lands on a piano or something. It's like dancing around on top of it. Yep. Yeah. It looks just about like that. The thing that you're doing, you the listener cannot see what he's doing, but he's making his hand dance on his knee. All right. So if you had to describe the plot of this book to somebody, or I guess the plot of this episode to somebody, quickly, you could just say like, okay, this is the setup.
Okay,
what is it?
Give me a timer.
Okay, let me see if I can pull that up. Like, I'll get you an actual timer so you got like, here, this is really fun. If I can get the goddamn thing. Alright, timer, 30 seconds.
That's a minute.
Yeah,
30 seconds.
30 seconds. So you got 30 seconds to explain the episode and what it's about. Go.
Okay, so there's this kid with a really imaginary sense of imagines, and
his name is Jerry.
And he has a piano in the basement, and oh man, okay, so
18 seconds.
He ends up with piano lessons, but then it turns out that the piano teacher is a robot, and the guy who designed the robot is insane because his ghost mother tortured him, and he gets piano lessons for all eternity. Boom.
You understand what the problem in this episode is?
What?
It's not a coherent plot that goes from point A to point B, nice and easy, nice and simple. It's like a weird. It's like something else. It's not that. It's. I don't know how to describe it. Like, if you wanted to make like. When I first saw this book as a young man in the library in Bluffton, South Carolina. I thought, oh, it's about a kid
From the United States.
Yes, it's about a kid who goes to a teacher for piano lessons, right? And the teacher is like creepy and weird or whatever. Like, the teacher is crazy, and it's kind of about that. You could say that's one of the things that happens in the episode. You could also say that's a minor plot point, maybe, because it doesn't really have plot points, because it meanders and nothing really connects until the end. And then a bunch of questions are just left hanging in the air. Like, for instance, how was... I guess we should just tell the plot first. So Jerry has moved to some new place. We don't know where. It's kind of tropical there. His parents despise him because he's antisocial, because he spends all his time, like, talking to himself.
They begin plotting on how to fix this.
Well, they don't do that, but he's like, such a dork. And to supplement this and to solve this problem, he decides to play baseball by himself using a net that, like, you bounce the ball off.
Yeah. And maybe this is the moon, because the ball falls really slowly.
The moon?
Yeah.
This is the moon.
Yeah, maybe they're on the moon.
Oh yeah, I guess that would make sense. This is in the same universe as the moon
Camp Night
Moon. By the way, if I was running a camp on Earth, I would not call it Camp Night Earth. That's not a thing I would do.
Day Earth.
Yeah, that's not a thing I would do, because it doesn't make any sense.
Well, maybe
You don't name
Well,
a
it's a
place
special
after the
camp.
planet that it's on.
but it isn't a planet, it's a moon.
You don't name a thing after the celestial body that it resides upon.
Yes. You don't do that. It's a dumb thing to do.
But anyway, so he plays baseball by himself and he meets this girl, and she's like, her name is Kim, and she's from across the street, and she's really cool, and
One of the better people.
yeah, probably, okay, her acting, I think, was good. Very good.
Good.
Right?
Yeah.
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 What did you think about Jerry?
Jerry.
Probably better than Brooke, but like.
I mean, he was a dick.
Yeah, I mean, there were moments where you could tell like he was struggling against the constraints of the director and the constraints of the script and
But
the constraints of a TV
But
show.
I thought of him as a kindred spirit.
Okay. Because he's lost in his own head. That's why.
No. Because he has blue eyes.
Okay. Alright.
And most people don't like him.
Okay, so she's like, you want to join this band that I'm in? And then he is like, yeah, sure. Because he needs to make friends or whatever, because he'll die alone. And so he decides to take piano lessons.
I mean, we all
they
die alone.
have a piano.
You want to make this a project?
But then he has a dream about going down to the piano and playing it. So first he meets Dr. Shriek, who specifically he says in the book he's supposed to look like Santa Claus, and pitch perfect casting on their part. Dr. Shriek definitely looked like Santa Claus.
Yeah.
He looked like the Santa Claus who gives out swords in Narnia, who's like, here, you child get a sword, and you child get a sword.
I'm kind of surprised.
And you get a bow because you're a woman. And here, you can have a dagger and this healing junk. I don't give a shit, I'm leaving. The way his dress was like, his dress. He wasn't wearing a dress, but his dress, as in his clothing, was weird. It was like that dark, velvety.
It's sleek.
Yeah, kind of
Zeke,
slimming.
sleek even.
Slimming. He looked good.
Yeah.
So he takes the piano lessons and they go to this weird place, and it's Dr. Shriek's musical school, and for some reason there's a security camera out front that like talks to you, and that's kind of weird.
They're afraid someone might steal their pianos.
That's right. Well, piano theft is a big problem in whatever state it is that Jerry's family just moved to.
What I assumed is that since Mr. Toggle is so tech savvy, he just decided to add it there.
He just automated everything.
Yeah.
Well, Yeah, because like, what human being is gonna be like submit a resume to work at the Dr. Shriek school? Like the moment you step inside the building, you're like, oh no, oh this isn't for me. This was a mistake. Yeah. So
Probably going to lose my hands.
so yeah, probably gonna lose your hands. That's the only reason you even won. You even the job interview went your way. So so you meet Dr. Shriek, and then his mother, for some reason, hands him off to Dr. Shriek,
Yeah.
and then Dr. Shriek teaches him, and then he has a dream about playing piano, where he goes downstairs and plays piano, and then I guess in the dream he's like possessed by the ghost, but then he wakes up.
Yeah.
And then he goes downstairs because he hears somebody playing the piano, like an idiot. Also, how does this ghost work? The ghost has no hands.
Ghost has no hands.
How does she play the piano?
With her ghost powers.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So she. Okay then. So, but then she's like, stay away from Dr. Shriek's school. And then she screams, and then the parents run down, and then. No, the parents run down twice. Oh no, because at first what happened? They run down twice. Like he doesn't see her the first time.
This happens twice.
Okay, I'm just asking. Like I've completely forgot. I've lost any train of the plot. But he's at Dr. Shriek's.
Anyone would.
He's at Dr. Shriek. At one point, he's at Dr. Shriek's school and goes down the stairs. He goes into a do not go in here area, and he's like, I'm going in there. And then he goes downstairs, and then there's a sweeping robot, which looks kind of like a Dalek and kind of like Robbie the Robot, if you remember that.
And how is that scary?
Well, I mean, it's got red eyes. It's coming out of the dark.
Goldfish.
You know what that thing is. Your parents are gone. You're in a place you're not supposed to be. I mean, it wasn't really scary.
I have red eyes sometimes when I'm not sleeping long enough.
That's not the way it works. That's not what I'm talking about. You know it. So, and then he meets Mr. Toggle, who's the building's. Dr. Shriek says he's the custodian. He runs the building? Okay, but he builds stuff. And for some reason, this robot, I guess Jerry, maybe he mentioned it to his parents, and because his parents are so negligent, they're like, oh,
just
Jerry.
give it another chance.
Just give it another chance. Right. This man has made incredible advancements in science. Why is he running the nightmare school where he steals people's hands?
Because he was traumatized by his mother.
Okay, but a lot of famous and wealthy people were famous and wealthy despite them being very messed up. That's all I'm saying. It's I think he'd have the business sense to patent some of this stuff he's built.
I mean, the government clearly doesn't recognize this.
Oh, this school? Yeah, I mean, as far as they're concerned, this place never existed. No.
They don't read the newspaper.
Yeah. Well, that's done. No, but I didn't say that's done, by the way. That's done.
Is it over?
Yeah. But then okay. So then later, Dr. Shriek freaks out. He sees the ghost once at least, and he screams, and his parents are like, what's going on? And he's like, there's a ghost playing the piano, and they're like, you're just imagining things, like every parent.
It was just a cat.
It was just a cat.
Playing Moonlight Sonata.
Playing Moonlight Sonata on the piano. Honestly, how did that not
like
wake
that
him
dancing hand.
Oh, I guess he woke up because of the dream. I've completely lost any train of the plot. But at one point, but doesn't the ghost go into him in his dream?
Yes.
But then later the ghost comes out of him.
Yes.
So it went into him not in his dream? Or it went into him in his dream and it went into him at some point in the episode that we don't see?
Let's stop talking about a ghost woman going into a child.
She's a... She possesses him at one point, and I don't know when or how.
With her ghost powers.
Oh, okay, fine. Magic is real, whatever. But we never see that, do we? We just see her screaming at him.
Yeah.
So Dr. Shriek freaks out, and then he like runs into the room, and then he gets all turned around. He has to run away from Dr. Shriek, so he goes downstairs to meet Mr. Toggle, and he goes downstairs. He bursts into one of the recital halls. Oh, by the way, this thing's down there in the basement. That's where they keep the recital halls. Nice and convenient for everybody. So he bursts into one of the recital halls, and then there's just a bunch of disembodied hands playing piano. And a normal person at this point, a normal 12-year-old child might go, ah, or something. But that's not his reaction. Like, I understand he's being chased by a crazy, like, robot old man who's obsessed with hands.
Yeah.
But if you saw a bunch of disembodied hands playing piano, surely that would warrant a huh? A woo?
Or a pass out.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something. Like
Anything.
Maybe he should have like fainted, and then like Toggle wakes him up and he's like, "Hey, I deactivated Dr. Shriek, who was a robot, because I told you he was a robot earlier. Why did I do that? I don't know. I'm crazy. I want your hands." And then Mr. Toggle wants his hands, and then he tries to yank them, I guess, or I don't know how he's gonna get them off, or like what he intends to do with them.
Same way he did all of them.
No,
Ghost magic.
Yeah, no, but it doesn't make any sense. He has robots, not magic. He can't have both. Like he says, I can't design hands because they're
too many moving parts.
Too many moving parts. Which
Okay.
makes sense because
You know what is also really hard to design? A human brain.
Yeah, but he didn't design a human brain. He just designed a body and then like a bunch of preset instructions for the thing to say.
It's kind of where brain is.
Like Dr. Shriek is not like a Westworld style living, breathing thing that like has his own thoughts and compassion.
He hasn't Detroit become human yet.
No, he is not Detroited yet. He's not become he's not Marcus from Detroit Become Human. He's not even Connor from Detroit Become
He
Human.
isn't even Kara from Detroit Become Human.
Well,
we know the
no.
characters from Detroit Become Human.
I think the line goes Marcus, Kara, then Connor, because Connor is the least human out of any of them. But what was I gonna say?
He isn't even Luther.
Okay. More like the stilted acting, because they're robots, am I right? How did he get the hands? It doesn't make sense.
Surgically removed them, and then he had a robot design them to float up above air, and then move pianos.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Because
that does not make any sense. Because earlier it's implied, all these all these rooms are filled with just hands playing the piano, because he like tries to peek over the piano and see who's playing behind it, and he can't.
Yeah.
So it implies that all of those rooms are just filled with hands, I guess, instead of children. So I don't know where he's making money on this thing and how he's keeping this place open, but I guess he is. And
obviously someone's paying him.
And then the ghost jumps out of Jerry, and she's like, "I'm your mother, and I despise you." And then she's like, "You've gone too far this time."
This time?
Right. Well,
the one time I'm about to collect my 100th pair of hands, and you're in my way.
Yeah, like, the room is filled with hands, and then the hands are just gone later. Like later, when we come back to the Shriek place, the hands are gone. So I don't know if they were ghosts and she like dispelled them or something, but they're gone later. So she waited a little bit too late. A little bit too late to deal with the problem. I feel like maybe action would have been better earlier. But anyway, she makes him play piano forever, and then I guess she just really likes Jerry, because to make sure that his parents never try and send him to this place again, she runs after him as a ghost and screams at them. And then I guess I don't understand. I always thought ghosts were tied to houses, or like the place where they died. Like for instance, the ghost of a dead kid can't leave the auditorium where he died.
Yeah.
He can't just roam around, because that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But apparently not. Apparently if you possess somebody into playing piano music, then you can follow them around wherever you want, and then you can stay, I guess, in any place. She seems totally boundless, and yet she returns to her house.
Well, that's because her shackles have been removed. Because she doesn't have any hands to cover down.
Okay, but alright. So what's her face? Kim. So him and Kim end up playing baseball
He
together.
and Kim.
So Kim and him end up playing baseball together, and then we cut back to Toggle, who is obsessed with hands because with piano playing and hands because his mother was obsessed with hands and piano playing. But I guess she didn't go to the lengths that he did. I don't know why she's blaming him. She's the one who messed him up so much in the first place. But and then at the end of the episode,
just don't think that way.
yeah, but like, I guess, but like, we're supposed to be rooting for her to torture this guy.
Of course we're not. It's a bad ending.
Yeah, it's a weird conclusion to come to.
It's a Greek tragedy, if you may.
Oh yes, one of the ancients, the bard himself could not have concocted a more foolproof and seamless story.
Yeah.
All right. Just a little bit of trivia. The ghost in Jerry's house is never named in the book. However, in the Goosebumps official collector's caps book, which I guess I'll have to get that because that just sounds so riveting. What kind of loser collects the Goosebumps collector? Alright, it is revealed that the ghost girl is actually named Mara Klein. She lived in Jerry's house before him, and she was one of Dr. Shriek's finest students. So, stop. Dr. Shriek was a person, or he was a robot when he taught her? Did Doggle make a robot version of the old Dr. Shriek? Because that's not explained in the episode. Okay, here's something really interesting. So R.l.stine has stated that he was originally going to call this book Guitar Lessons Can Be Murder, because his son was taking guitar lessons. But people kept telling him that guitars weren't scary.
What?
So it was changed to
guitars.
piano lessons. No, obviously a piano is scarier than a guitar. You know, a guitar is like rustic. It's country, you know? It's folk.
It depends what kind of
a
guitar.
piano is like shrieky, instrumental, like...
Of course.
Yeah, it's more discordant and
It's very commonly used in horror music.
Yeah, of course.
I'm pretty sure that was in the Goosebumps title sequence.
No. I wasn't even meaning to do the X-Files theme, but like the Goosebumps theme, is that piano?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I bet it isn't. That sounds like it's like
Da-da-da.
yeah, it like starts with piano where it goes like whatever the clinking. Yeah. Anyway, so there's your trivia. So in the alternate universe where we got guitar lessons can be murder, do you think anyone else was like, hey, clocks aren't scary, hair isn't scary,
I mean, it's kind of scary.
bees?
It's scary for a teenager.
Bees aren't scary. Well, but like, okay, fine. It would be scary if it was like. I mean, it wouldn't be scary. It would be creepy if it was like better done. But like eggs aren't scary. Look, I get like this is kind of his gimmick to turn things into scary things, but like, come on, man. Like, I think the piano lessons could have been scary, but it's not. I guess it was disturbing the first time I watched it, but it wasn't like. I don't know. Is it spooky? Should we just move on to the rating?
Yeah, let's move on to the rating.
It reminded me of that. There was this one movie that I guess I watched a while ago, like when I was a kid, and it was like, there was this boy and he was taking piano lessons, and he had this like fever dream hallucination of himself and his like very strict authoritarian piano teacher, and like it was just a series of bizarre vignettes of like him, like, what's the word? Surreal stuff involving pianos, basically. So the child acting, probably 4 to 5.
4 out of 5, yeah.
Is that the
Pretty good.
highest we've gotten so far? Oh no, Nightmare Camp. It went alongside Nightmare Camp. I disagree with that. I think it was better in this than it was in Nightmare Camp. I'm bumping up to a 5 out of 5.
Yeah!
No,
Five
you know
out of
what?
five. We finally did it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we're probably not going to get a better child acted episode than this, but I mean, I could be wrong. All right, funniness. How funny was it?
It was pretty funny.
Okay,
Yeah.
4 to 5. And scariness.
It was also pretty scary.
We will.
Yeah,
Yes,
almost.
we will finish soon. All right. So scariness. How scary was it?
I would say 4 out of 5.
4 to 5. 4 to 5. And that pretty much wraps it up for this episode. Do you have any closing comments you'd like to make about the Phantom of the Auditorium, or piano lessons can be murder? Followed by a dark chuckle that echoes through the ominous tower.
No.
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 No. Nothing.
Absolutely
Not a
not.
single note. You weren't
Just
paying attention at all, were you?
Have a happy October.
Yeah. Have a happy Halloween.
October.
Have a happy Halloween.
Halloween is only one day. October is the whole month.
And have a nice day.